Hello students and welcome back to our class. In this video, we will continue our discussion on Chapter 1, Introduction to Personality. In our last video, we discussed Lesson 1, Definition and Basics of Personality, and Lesson 2, Nature of Personality. In this video, we will discuss Part 1 of Lesson 3, Theories of Personality. We have four theories of personality. First, we have psychoanalytic perspective. Second, we have humanistic perspective. Third is social cognitive perspective. And lastly, we have trait perspective. In this video, we will focus on our second theory of personality, which is humanistic perspective. Kung sa unang perspective natin, ang focus is our childhood experiences and how it affects our personality. In this case, ang emphasis naman natin or ang focus natin is psychological growth, free will, and personal awareness. In this perspective, we will discuss two psychologists, Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. Our first psychologist in the humanistic perspective is Carl Rogers. Sino si Carl Rogers? He proposed the self theory. Tapos sabi niya, the only person who is educated is the one who has learned to learn and change. Okay. Ano meron kay Carl Rogers? Kay Carl Rogers believe in the inherent goodness of people. According sa kanya, ang tao ay natural na mabait. Okay? Emphasized the importance of free will and psychological growth, and suggested that actualizing tendency is the driving force behind human behavior. Human beings are always striving for self-fulfillment or self-actualization. When the need of the self are denied, severe anxiety may result. So, pagka may gusto ka, pero hindi mo nakukuha, it may result to anxiety, di ba? May gusto kang grade na makuha, pero hindi mo makuha, kakaroon ka ng anxiety. Okay? And he proposed the self-concept. Ano ba yung self-concept? Self-concept refers to the image of oneself. It was defined, or Carl Rogers defined the self as a flexible and changing perception of personal identity. Self develops from interaction with significant people and self-awareness. And it makes sense kung isipin mo kasi na-develop natin yung sense of self natin when we interact with other people. Ganun pala ako. Oo nga no, parang hindi ko napapansin yun. So, those are included sa factors on how we conceive ourselves. According to Carl Rogers, there are three components of the self-concept. So, yung una is the self-image or how you see yourself. Paano mo ba wina-value yung sarili mo? How do you see yourself? Okay? Minsan, yung self-image natin is a bit inflated. Ibig sabihin, nung tingin natin, sobrang bongga ng perception natin sa sarili natin. Feeling natin, ang ganda-ganda natin. O kaya, ang sexy-sexy natin. Okay? Which, in some cases naman, meron namang super negative yung self-image natin. Feeling natin ang pangit-pangit natin. Yung second component naman of the self-concept is self-esteem or how much you value yourself. So maraming factors ang nakakaapekto ng self-esteem, including how we compare ourselves to others and how others respond to us, or paano sila nagre-react sa atin. When people respond to us positively, usually we develop a positive self-esteem. On the other hand, when we compare ourselves to others and find ourselves lacking, it can have a negative impact on our self-esteem. Paano yun? Halimbawa, pag mapapansin nyo, nakita ka ng kaibigan mo, tapos sabihin, ang ganda mo naman today. So, parang nagkakaroon siya ng effect on your aura, on your day, okay? On your behavior. On the other hand, pag kino-compare naman natin yung sarili natin sa iba, tapos feeling natin, parang, ay, buti pa siya matangkad. Ay, buti pa siya balingkinitan. Okay, nagkakaroon siya ng negative effect on our self-esteem. Next one we have is our ideal self. Okay, yung ideal self natin, ito yung gusto natin from the term itself. Okay, how you wish you could be. Ano ba yung gusto mo? 5, 10 years from now, gusto ko ganito ko. Siyempre, yung ideal self natin is affected by our self-image and our self-esteem. So, sabi ni Carl Rogers, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. If you think about it, oo nga naman, no? Pero bakit kung kailan tanggap ko yung sarili ko, alam ko na yung strengths and weaknesses ko, then saka ako pwedeng magbago. Kasi nga, you know your strength, you know your weaknesses, and therefore, kaya mong i-address yung weaknesses mo at kaya mo pang i-further strengthen yung strengths mo. Our next one in our humanistic perspective is American psychologist Abraham Maslow. Maslow proposed the hierarchy of needs. According to him, what a man can be, he must be. This need we call self-actualization. So he was popular for his self-actualization. So Abraham Maslow suggested that people are motivated by a hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy is most often displayed as a pyramid. I know you're familiar with this. Okay, the lowest level of the pyramid are made up of the most basic needs, while the most complex needs are at the top of the pyramid. So, sa hierarchy of needs ni Maslow, composed siya of 5 levels. Okay, at usually nga, it was presented in a pyramid. So, ano yung 5 levels na yon? Una, we have physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and then self-actualization. Nasa pinakailalim yung physiological needs at sa pinakataas ang self-actualization. So, needs at the bottom of the pyramid are basic physical requirements, including food, water, sleep, and warmth. Once these lower level needs have been met, people can move on to the next level of need, which are safety and security. So, ano ba yung sasabi natin dito? Sa physiological, dito kasama yung mga basic needs natin. Kailangan natin para mabuhay. Ngayon, pag na-meet na natin to, saka lang tayo pwedeng mag-proceed to the next level, which is safety and security. Ano yung kasama sa safety and security? Dito kasama yung meron kang sariling bahay, okay, walang krimen, o kaya financial security, those are all involved in this. Pag na-meet mo na yon, physiological and safety, then you can proceed to love and belongingness. We all need to belong, okay? To a group, we need friends, we need family. Kasama yon sa love and belongingness. Pag na-meet mo na yon, then you can proceed to esteem. You need to belong, pero you also need to stand out. There's an inherent need to stand out. At yun yung part ng esteem. Sabihin, yung kagustuhan natin na magkaroon ng awards, ma-recognize, all those are included in esteem. At pag na-meet mo na yan, you can reach self-actualization. So, para kay Maslow, ito yung hierarchy of needs. Sabi ni Maslow, you will either step forward into growth or you will step back into safety. Bakit niya nasabi yun? Kasi nga, you cannot proceed to the next level of the hierarchy of needs unless ma-meet mo na yung needs mo dun sa lower levels. Okay. At pag nagkaroon ka ng problema dun sa lower levels, hindi ka makapag-proceed. You will step back and you will not achieve self-actualization. That's the end of our discussion for our second theory of personality. In our next video, we will discuss the third theory of personality, which is the social cognitive perspective. Thank you for your time, for listening. Again, if you have questions, you may comment or you can send me a private message in our group chat or through Facebook. Thank you and bye, class!